Our PlayStation Live cast continues, and I'm here with the boys from Blizzard to talk more about Diablo 3 on PS3. We just saw a massive stage demo. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have been a fan of this series for nearly 15 years at this point. In college, I majored in Diablo 2, and don't have a lot to show for it, unfortunately, aside from a burning passion for this series. I love Diablo 3 on the PC, but now you guys are showing off what may be, dare I say, the definitive version of Diablo 3 on PS3. We're talking same screen co-op, 4 players, and it works great. And I want to talk for a second about this controller support. This is not tacked on. This is not just sort of thrown together. It feels right. Talk to me about the process of getting that in place to getting it feel right on DualShock.
Well, we realized that from day one, the biggest challenge we had is how do we make it feel rock solid on that controller, right? It's not just a matter of mapping the powers to the buttons or introducing direct control or even the evade move, but it's really all the stuff that's happening underneath the hood to support what you're seeing on screen. So we really went in and tweaked all the powers in the game, sometimes speeding them up, sometimes changing them drastically, because it's super important. And once you have direct control, you want to have that immediate responsive feel. Every time you press the X button, something cool has to happen on screen. The animations need to start happening right away. So I think it was really important from day one that we not just ask ourselves, how can we make it feel great on the controller, but how can we sort of bring a whole new level to the Diablo experience?
I love that you mentioned the right analog stick evade move. Obviously kind of popularized by the God of War series, a series PlayStation fans know and love. But I'll tell you, it really makes a more tactile feel to the game. You feel nimbler. Talk to me a little bit about just, what we see in this new inventory system even. I mean, and this sort of item queue. I mean, you guys really went in deep on making this work perfectly on PS3. Talk about just some of these other details as well.
Yeah, well, so we wanted to make sure that the game flows really well when you have everyone sitting together on the couch. So we've done everything from obviously evade, and then the inventory, we added a fast equip, which allows you to, when you're playing together, just on the fly, pick stuff up, get a quick shorthand look at it, and either equip it if it's good, or maybe if I'm playing a barbarian, he's playing a wizard, if I pick up a wand, I can just drop it on the ground without opening the inventory. And on top of that, we even streamline the items so that when you're at higher levels, we drop fewer items that we don't think you're going to need, and we target all of the items for you. So the chances of a barbarian fighting an item that has strength, which the barbarian really needs, are very, very high.
Ah, that's cool. Sort of just a refinement and a sort of simplification here but not losing any of that depth. That's the other thing.
No, I would say it's not so much a simplification, but a streamlining.
Yes.
You really want to make sure we keep true to the essential core of Diablo 3.
And I've played this thing. We were down at your offices a little while ago. We had a 4-player match going, just as a testament to how addictive this game is. We were sitting there doing same screen co-op, and I mean, it was like people were like, okay, we have other matters to attend to here. We were like, just another minute. It's a lot of fun. It's a great game, and you guys are also, of course, supporting full online play in addition to just the couch co-op. And talk a little bit about that. We're gonna be able to mix and match.
Totally, and I think that's a really important point to make. I know we're talking a lot about how awesome it feels to play with 4 players on the same couch, but we support 4 players in any combination. So
awesome.
The 3 of us can be playing on the same couch, and we have our friend in Irvine. We can ask him to join in online, and when you're joining a game online, you're not tethered to the same screen. You can go anywhere you want and stuff like that. But really important that we really support whatever combination of players, local and offline.
Another thing I want to point out here too is, PS3 is in its 7th year, and you would not guess that by looking at Diablo 3. I mean, this game is very true to the PC version, which I played when it first came out. It looks great. It runs smoothly. I mean, the screen is packed with enemies, tons of textures and lighting effects and particles going on. I mean, how long have you guys been working? Obviously, it takes some work to cram a massive PC game into PS3, but it doesn't look any worse for the wear. I mean, what was the process for that like?
Well, we had people working on it from a technical standpoint early on, even while we were working on PC. So they laid the groundwork with the engine, making sure that everything we did in the PC was available to us on console so that we could make the game work around the controller and around the couch. So we had everything we needed. And then, of course, since PC has launched, we've benefited from everything they've done. We have a lot of their updates. We have all their tuning. So we know a lot because we have a lot of people, millions of people have been playing Diablo for months. And so we have, actually it's over a year now. And so we have all of that, and we were able to integrate all of that learning and all of that technical time spent into one game that's built around the console.
And Blizzard's legendary for supporting their games after they come out. I mean, again, as a former Diablo 2 addict, I mean, you guys are putting updates in the game 6, 7, 8, 9 years after. So I think we have every indication here this game's going to be very well supported on console. But now we're seeing the PS3 version, and I believe you guys have announced a launch date for that, coming out a little later this fall.
September 3rd?
September 3rd, all right. Perfect timing. That's a great time. But also, this game's coming to PS4.
It is, right.
I know we're focused on the PS3 version because that's coming out, and of course the PS4 version is going to be at a later time. But can you give us a little bit of a preview of how you're looking at that PS4 version and some of the perks that might be there as well?
So I think our philosophy will be exactly the same. In other words, you know, when we were working on the PC game, we said, how can we make this an awesome PC game? And then we were talking about, you know, bringing that experience to the PlayStation 3. So it's like, how can we make this an awesome PS3 experience? So now that we're sort of ramping down on the PlayStation 3 version, we're asking ourselves the same questions: is how can we take, you know, that awesome PS4 and that controller? You know, it has so many great opportunities, like, you know, the trackpad, the share button. Like,
yeah.
You know, so Jason's gonna be one of the key guys on that project, and it's just gonna be, you know, great to go through that process again and ask ourselves, how can we make it feel like it was hand-built for this controller?
Sweet. Now, we got DualShock 4s are out on the floor, PS4s are out on the floor here at E3. It's a crazy show for everybody, but have you gotten a chance to wrap your hands around the sort of DualShock 4s that they have out there on the floor?
Oh, yeah, we totally have.
It's, what do you think? I mean, what's your first impression here? I mean,
well, it's one of those things that DualShock is such a classic controller,
it is.
Right? In some ways, it's really defined console gaming, you know, not just for this generation, but I think, for
15 years.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, to sort of update that classic in such a smart way, you know, the shape of the analog sticks,
yeah.
it feels good. The weight of it feels good. The triggers, you know, they're finally like responsive, and your finger's not going to be slipping from it. So it's great that, you know, Sony has this confidence that they said we have something great with a DualShock, and we're just going to try to find a way to make it better.
Absolutely, yeah. It's not heavy-handed. It's all the right tweaks. I mean, you know, we're pretty particular. We spend a lot of time playing on consoles.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
For Sony to move it in the direction where the sticks feel just right, and everything's tuned just right, I think they made all the right decisions.
My favorite detail, I'm going to go out and say it now, is there's this subtle sort of tactile feel to, like, a kind of a texture that's on the handle.
That's a great point.
It's very hard to describe, but when you wrap your hands around it, you just go, yes.
Totally, yeah.
This is right.
Yep.
So I think we're almost out of time here, but I did want to ask you, were you guys in the PlayStation press conference the other night?
We were.
What was your favorite moment?
Well, the whole thing. No, it's you know, it's really exciting to be, you know, part of this E3. You know, and I think, you know, one of the things that, you know, Sony has done really well is, you know, it's something that at Blizzard we find really important as well, is listen to the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at Blizzard we have this thing where gameplay first, and, you know, we understand that we're making these games, we're making these epic experiences for the gamers, right? And to see, you know, Sony sort of really, you know, come out and say, like, we're making a gaming console. It does all this awesome stuff too, but it's a gaming console.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you actually have some exclusive content you're providing for the PlayStation versions of the game too. Can you just give us a quick kind of high-level glimpse of what that's
totally. And Jason's one of the guys that sort of came up with a lot of these ideas, so let him.
Yeah, how'd you choose? I mean,
well, it was tough because we had a lot to pick from, but so we did, of course. We had to pick a couple of our favorites. So we went Drake's Amulet, which is one of the amulets you can get in the game early on. That's an ode to the Drake's Fortune series. And then we also have one from one of my very favorite games of all time, Journey. We have these cool Journey shoulders that you can get. And not only does it look like the scarf you have in Journey, but even the little ticker tapes that come off the back when you're flying around in Journey, but we have those in there. So it's like, you know, we just really lovingly crafted that. And then we have one for ourselves. We have our Leoric's skeleton summoning ring, you know, which is the Skeleton King's ring, because that allows him to summon and control skeletons. So now you get to do it too.
all right, and these are really powerful items too. I mean, obviously in a game like Diablo 3, you're getting new loot, you're getting this, you're getting that, you're throwing out old stuff, you're selling it. But these are ones you're going to want to hang on to. The perks are unique.
Really, I think that the perks are unique, but also we also thought that, you know, that's a really good point. So you're always picking up items that we wanted to make sure that players had an emotional connection to these items, which is why we picked, you know, the scarf from Journey, you know, the amulet from Uncharted. It's like, you know, again, being an Uncharted and Journey fan, like I'll be wearing those items just because, you know, I love those games, and the guys at Naughty Dog and that game company are heroes to me. So I'm happy to be able to wear some of their stuff in our game.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. It's been one hell of an E3. Coming up next, we're going to have a look at the new Tales from Xillia trailer. Stay tuned.
When man and spirit coexist, dreams and wishes are fulfilled. The spirits have the power to bring man's wishes to fruition, and in turn, those wishes preserve and protect the spirit's livelihood.
She claims she's Maxwell.
She's supposed to be the spirit Maxwell?
You gotta be kidding me. What in the world would a spirit like that be trying to destroy?
When someone uses a Spyrix, spirits die.
I know he must be stopped. I know I must help stop him.
When a man loses his way in life, the ground beneath him starts to slowly crumble, until there is nothing left.
I can no longer obey the king. He uses his own people as pawns.
What are we waiting for? We have to save those citizens.
Your mettle is inspiring. All right then, hold on tight.
No one in this world is more worthy to sit upon this throne than I. Spirits protecting humans. Now that is quite an interesting tale.
Humans strive to become stronger. They constantly struggle to grow more for the sake of others. They rise to the occasion